I push open the studio door, and my world collapses. Empty walls stare back at me, where $15,000 worth of equipment should be hanging. The seamless paper backdrop system, gone. My professional lighting kit that took 2 years to afford, vanished. Even the editing station where I'd spent countless midnight hours perfecting couples' most precious memories, sits bare. Its hard drives ripped away like someone tore out my heart and left the cavity exposed. But it's the document on my desk that stops my breathing entirely. Partnership agreement. Chen Sisters Photography Studio. My signature at the bottom. Except, I never signed these. I'd know. I've been signing my name the same way since Grandpa taught me to write, his weathered fingers guiding mine as we traced letters over and over. He'd whisper, "Make it yours, little one. Let it tell your story." My sister Lisa just rewrote my story, and our parents helped her do it. 3 days ago, I was in Napa Valley capturing the Jameson wedding, the kind of raw, emotional moments that make this job feel like magic instead of work. The bride cried when she saw the preview shots. The groom booked me for his sister's wedding on the spot. Another $8,500 for moments captured photography. The business I built from $800 and a borrowed camera. Now I'm standing in the ruins of 5 years of sacrifice, holding a text from Maya that feels like a death sentence. Your sister came by with your parents, took equipment, said you approved it. Everyone went home early. Call me. I never approved anything. Lisa thinks photography is pointing your phone at pretty things and adding a filter. Sophia? Maya's voice echoes from the back room, tinged with relief and confusion. I find my assistant, my friend really, sitting among scattered client folders, her usual bright smile replaced with worry lines that age her 20 years. Thank God you're here. She practically launches herself from her chair. I didn't know what to do. Your sister came in around 2 p.m. with your parents. They had this official folder, said there was a family emergency and they needed equipment for insurance purposes. What equipment? The words scrape my throat like broken glass. The main lighting kit, 3 backup cameras, all the editing hard drives from last month. Maya's face crumples as she speaks. Sophia, she knew exactly what to take, had a detailed list and everything. She kept talking about our studio and some lifestyle brand collaboration worth $50,000. Our studio? The words taste like poison. Maya points to my inbox with a trembling finger. She left copies of forms. Said they were for your records. I dig through papers with hands that won't stop shaking until I find them. 3 sheets that might as well be my execution orders. The partnership agreement naming Lisa as co-owner and creative director of social media strategy. A client transfer form moving 6 upcoming weddings to Chen Sisters Photography Studio. A vendor agreement with Austin's premier wedding venue, giving Lisa authority to book shoots using my reputation, all bearing my forged signature. The girl who couldn't keep a houseplant alive just stole my life's work. I grab my keys and drive to my parents' house through tears that blur the streetlights into watercolor smears. The whole way, memories slash through my mind like paper cuts. Lisa's jealous comments about my little hobby. Dad's questions about when I'd get a real job. Mom's endless attempts to get me to help Lisa with her influencer career by doing free photo shoots. Their house looks peaceful in the evening light, sprinklers casting rainbows across manicured lawns. Through the living room window, I see them. all three conspirators sitting around the coffee table with papers spread everywhere, champagne glasses catching the lamplight like evidence of their celebration. They're toasting the destruction of my dreams.
I don't knock. I use my key and walk into what feels like a business meeting disguised as family time. Sophia, Mom jumps up, guilt radiating from her like heat waves. We were just planning to steal my business because that's what this is. Theft. Lisa doesn't even have the decency to look ashamed. She sprawled across the couch in a designer outfit I know she can't afford, perfectly contoured face glowing with confidence. It's not theft, Sophia. It's family collaboration. You forged my signature. I took initiative. She shrugs like we're discussing borrowed clothes. You would have said no, and this opportunity was too incredible to pass up. What opportunity? Dad clears his throat, setting down his champagne with deliberate care. He won't meet my eyes. Lisa has been approached by Lux Lifestyle magazine. They want to feature sister photography duos for their Family Business Success Stories issue. $50,000 partnership deal. So you decided to make her my partner without asking? Not partner, Mom jumps in with that sing-song voice she uses for bad news. Collaborator. Lisa handles social media and marketing. You do the actual photography. Perfect. Both daughters working together. I stare at these people who are supposed to love me and realize they've never understood what I do. To them, I'm someone who takes pretty pictures. They have no idea I built this business sleeping on the studio floor to save rent money. No idea about the couples who trust me with irreplaceable moments. No idea that I exist as anything more than Lisa's support system. The magazine partnership, I say slowly, each word measured. How much up front? Lisa's eyes light up like Christmas morning. 30,000 signing bonus plus percentage of bookings from the feature. Isn't that amazing? And you planned to split that with me? Well, Lisa glances at our parents for backup. They specifically want to work with me. My Instagram following, my aesthetic, my personal brand. You'd be more like technical support. Technical support. 5 years of building a client base from nothing. 5 years of award-winning photographs featured in Texas Wedding Magazine. 5 years of 4 a.m. wedding prep and midnight editing sessions. And I'm technical support for my sister's Instagram fantasies. Something breaks inside my chest. Not my heart. That would be too clean. This is messier, like something vital tearing loose and flooding my system with poison. Get out, I whisper. Honey, don't be dramatic, Mom starts. Get out of my business! The words explode from somewhere primal, surprising everyone, including me. You have 24 hours to return every piece of equipment you stole, cancel whatever deal you made with that magazine, and pray I don't call the police. Lisa's perfect composure finally cracks. You wouldn't call the police on your own sister. I meet her eyes, holding up the forged signature. Try me. The silence stretches like a held breath. Dad finally speaks, his voice uncertain. Sophia, maybe we can work something out. There's nothing to work out. Lisa committed fraud. You helped her. End of story. I turn toward the door, then pause. And if I find out you've contacted any of my clients, if you've damaged even one relationship I've spent years building, I will make sure everyone in Austin knows exactly what kind of people you are. I walk out without looking back,
leaving them with their stolen papers and shattered celebration. In my car, the dam finally breaks. 5 years of sacrifice, of proving myself, of being invisible while Lisa got everything handed to her, it all pours out in ugly, shoulder-shaking sobs that fog my windshield and make my chest feel like it's caving in. Not because I'm sad, but because I'm furious. And for the first time in my life, I'm not going to let my family treat me like their personal ATM machine. This is war. That night, I sit on my apartment floor, surrounded by photo albums I haven't opened in years. My hands shake as I flip through plastic-covered memories, each page telling the same story I'd been too blind to see. Lisa's Sweet 16 party. Designer dress that cost more than my rent, professional photographer, a 3-tiered cake that looked like something from a magazine. I flipped the page expecting to find my 16th birthday and discover nothing. Because I'd been working double shifts at the camera store, saving for my first professional lens. Christmas 2020 stares back at me. Lisa posing beside a brand new MacBook Pro for her content creation, Dad had explained. I'm clutching a $25 Best Buy gift card, forcing a smile that never reached my eyes. That same Christmas, I'd been eating ramen noodles for dinner because I'd spent my grocery money on liability insurance for my growing business. Page after page of evidence I'd been ignoring for decades. Lisa's high school graduation party, $12,000 celebration. My college graduation ceremony, empty chairs where my family should have been because they'd taken Lisa apartment hunting in the trendy part of town. The pattern stretches across years, like a scar. Not just favoritism, but systematic erasure of my achievements while elevating hers. My phone buzzes. Jake, my mentor. Saw Lisa's Instagram story. Please tell me this partnership thing is a joke. I grab my phone with trembling fingers and open Instagram. There it is. A perfectly curated post showing Lisa in my studio, surrounded by my equipment. Caption reading, excited to announce Chen Sisters Photography Studio, taking Austin's wedding scene by storm with my creative vision and my sister's technical skills. Hashtag sister goals, wedding photographer, Austin Creative. 15,000 likes. Hundreds of comments congratulating her on her business expansion. She's telling the world she owns half my life's work. I screenshot everything before she can delete it, then call Jake. Please tell me this is some elaborate prank, he says without hello. I wish. I tell him everything. The forged documents, the stolen equipment, the family ambush. Jake listens with growing horror. Sophia, this is fraud. Criminal fraud. I know. I'm pacing my small living room, unable to sit still. But it's my family, Jake. How do I call the cops on my own sister? How do you not? She just stole 5 years of your life. Jake's voice softens. Sophia, I've watched you build this business from nothing. You slept on my studio floor when you couldn't afford rent. You ate nothing but peanut butter sandwiches for months to buy your first real camera. You've earned every single success through talent and sacrifice. Don't let her take that away. After we hang up, I pour wine with shaking hands and really look at my apartment for the first time in months. IKEA furniture, bare walls except for a few of my own photographs. No luxury items, no luxury clothes. I live like a college student because every extra penny goes back into the business.
Meanwhile, Lisa lives in a downtown loft, drives a BMW, and buys designer clothes with money from Mom and Dad. Money they never offered when I was struggling. My laptop chimes,
an email from Catherine Rodriguez, the wedding planner who sent me more clients than anyone in Austin. Sophia, I just got a very concerning call from Lisa Chen claiming to represent your studio. She wanted to discuss restructuring our partnership and mentioned some kind of co-ownership arrangement. Please call immediately. My blood turns to ice. Lisa is contacting my professional network, the relationships I've spent years building through quality work and reliability. I call Catherine, and she picks up immediately. Thank God, she says. I was hoping this was some misunderstanding. What exactly did she say? She claimed she was now handling all client relations and brand partnerships for your studio. Said there would be changes to how we work together, but quality would remain the same. Sophia, she sounded like she was reading from a script. Because she probably was. I close my eyes, feeling sick. Catherine, whatever she told you, ignore it. She has no authority over my business. None. I figured as much. In 3 years of working with you, you've never mentioned having a business partner. Plus, she kept using terms like content synergy and brand optimization, words that sound impressive but mean nothing.
After reassuring Catherine that our relationship hasn't changed, I spend 2 hours calling every major client and vendor. 8 of them got similar calls from Lisa. 8 professional relationships she tried to hijack. The rage building in my chest feels like it might consume me from the inside out. At 11 p.m., I drive back to my parents' house. This time, I ring the doorbell and wait. Dad opens the door in his bathrobe, looking annoyed. Sophia, it's late. Can't this wait? She called my clients. My voice is deadly calm. Lisa contacted 8 of my professional contacts today, pretending to have authority over my business. His face drains of color. What? Let me in, Dad. We need to talk. The living room still has papers scattered everywhere from their earlier celebration. I can see client names on some documents, information Lisa should never have had access to. Where is she? Upstairs, editing some video for her Instagram. Mom appears in her nightgown, pulling her robe tighter. Sophia, honey, maybe you're overreacting. Overreacting? The word explodes from me. She committed fraud. She stole confidential business information. She's pretending to own a company I built from nothing. How exactly am I overreacting? Lower your voice, Dad says automatically, the same thing he used to say when I complained about Lisa getting away with things as kids. No, the word comes out quiet but firm. I will not lower my voice, I will not be quiet, and I will not pretend this is okay just to keep the peace.
Mom sits heavily on the couch. We just want both our daughters to be successful. Then why didn't you help me when I was starting out? When I was working 3 jobs to afford photography school? When I was sleeping on studio floors because I couldn't afford rent and equipment payments? The silence stretches between us like a chasm. You never asked for help, Mom says finally. I shouldn't have had to ask. You saw me struggling. You saw me working myself to death. But Lisa's dreams were always more important. That's not true. It is true. I pull out my phone and show them Lisa's Instagram post. Look at this. She's telling the world she owns my company. My company that I built while you funded her lifestyle and her influencer career. Dad stares at the phone screen, really seeing it for the first time. I didn't know she was posting about this online. There's a lot you don't know. I sit across from them, suddenly exhausted. Do you have any idea what I actually do? What my business is worth? What I've accomplished? They exchange glances like children caught in a lie. You take wedding pictures, Mom says uncertainly. I run a full-service photography studio. I've shot weddings for couples who went on to become social media influencers with millions of followers.
I employ 4 people. My revenue last year was $240,000. Their eyes widen. I've been featured in Texas Wedding Magazine. I won the Austin Creative Excellence Award. And you think I'm technical support for Lisa's Instagram fantasies? We didn't know, Dad says quietly.
Because you never asked. In 5 years of running my business, you visited my studio twice. You've met my employees 0 times. You couldn't name 3 of my regular clients if your life depended on it. The front door opens, and Lisa walks in wearing designer jeans and carrying shopping bags from stores I can't afford. "Oh," she says, taking in the scene. "Family mating?" Perfect timing. I stand up, pulling out printed copies of Instagram posts and client contact records. "We need to discuss your new career as a fraudster." Lisa rolls her eyes. "God, Sophia, you're so dramatic. It's just business." Fraud is not business. Theft is not business. What you did today could send you to prison. For the first time, Lisa's confidence wavers. Prison? Don't be ridiculous. Identity theft, wire fraud, business interference. Pick your felony. I spread papers across the coffee table. I have records of every client you contacted, screenshots of your Instagram posts claiming to own my company, copies of the forged partnership agreement. Mom gasps. "Lisa, you didn't tell us you were calling her clients." "I was just introducing myself as the new creative director. You're not my creative director. You're my sister who thinks photography is pointing a phone at pretty things. You wouldn't know good composition if it hit you in your perfectly filtered face." Lisa's composure finally shatters. "You know what? I'm tired of living in your shadow. Sophia, the successful businesswoman. Sophia, the creative genius. Do you know what it's like having everyone compare me to you?" "What shadow?" I laugh, but there's no humor in it. "You've gotten everything handed to you our entire lives. I'm the one who's been invisible." "That's not true." "Really? Name one time Mom and Dad came to something important to me instead of one of your events." Silence. "One time they chose to support my dreams over yours." More silence. "I thought so. I gather my papers. You have until tomorrow night to return every piece of equipment you stole, cancel whatever deal you made with that magazine, and post a public correction on your social media. Tell everyone the partnership was a mistake, that Moments Captured is and has always been my sole business." "And if I don't?" Lisa's voice is smaller now, less confident. I meet her eyes, then I press charges. All of them. And I make sure everyone in Austin's wedding industry knows exactly what you did. I head for the door, then turn back one final time. I spent my whole life making excuses for this family, telling myself you didn't know better, that you didn't mean to hurt me. But today, you didn't just hurt me. You tried to destroy everything I've worked for. That's not ignorance. That's malice. "Sophia, wait," Mom calls out. "I'm done waiting. 36 hours. Don't test me." The next morning, I wake up to 23 missed calls and 67 text messages. Most are from Lisa, begging, pleading, making promises she has no intention of keeping. Some are from Mom and Dad, trying to mediate. And one is from Marcus Williams at Lux Lifestyle magazine. I call Marcus back immediately. "Ms. Chen." His voice is crisp and annoyed. "Yesterday, Lisa Chen assured us she was a 50% owner of Moments Captured Photography. However, our legal team's background check shows only you as the owner." "That's because I am the only owner," I say, gripping my phone. "Lisa has no legal connection to my business whatsoever." "Then why did she sign a preliminary contract yesterday and accept a $12,000 deposit?" $12,000. The room spins around me. Lisa took money from real clients using my reputation. After explaining the fraud to Marcus and promising to help sort out the mess, I spend the morning documenting everything. Screenshots of Lisa's social media lies, copies of forged documents, evidence of equipment theft. By noon, I have a folder thick enough to choke on. But Lisa's damage spreads like wildfire. She's contacted dozens of my clients claiming authority over my business. Wedding planners are confused. Venues are asking questions. My reputation is crumbling in real time. The breaking point comes when Patricia Waverly, from Austin's most prestigious wedding venue, calls.
Sophia, honey, your sister sent us a proposal about exclusive social media rights and increased fees. She said y'all were restructuring partnerships to focus on luxury brand alignment. My proposal. She stole my business development plans and claimed them as ours. Miss Waverly, I'm going to need you to disregard anything Lisa Chen told you. She has no authority to represent my business, and any contract she offered you is fraudulent. Fraudulent? Patricia's voice rises. Honey, we already blocked out dates based on her promises. We have 3 couples expecting your services next month. The guilt hits me like a physical blow. Innocent people are getting hurt because of Lisa's lies. Real couples with real weddings and real expectations. That's when I call the police. Detective Rodriguez meets me at the station that afternoon. Ms. Chen, are you sure you want to proceed? Once we filed charges, there's no taking it back. I think about Marcus Williams' confused voice, Patricia Waverly's concerns, all the innocent people getting hurt by Lisa's lies. File the charges. The family confrontation happens that evening. I walk into my parents' house carrying a briefcase full of evidence, 5 years of my life reduced to documents and proof of betrayal. Lisa looks smaller than I've ever seen her, red-rimmed eyes replacing perfect Instagram makeup, old sweatshirt instead of designer clothes. Thank you for coming, Dad says. I think we can work this out as a family. This isn't a family meeting, Dad. I set my briefcase on the table with a sound like a gavel. This is a business meeting about the crimes your daughter committed.
Crimes? Lisa flinches at the word. I open my briefcase and spread documents across the table like tarot cards predicting doom. Bank statements, email printouts, screenshots of Instagram posts, security camera photos of Lisa in my studio. Lisa, would you like to explain to Mom and Dad how you stole $35,000 from my clients in less than 48 hours? It's not stealing, Lisa says, her voice hoarse from crying. I was going to use the money to build our brand, then split the profits. With what profits? I pull out another folder. Let me read you some reviews from your last business venture. Never delivered promised photos, took deposit and disappeared. Lisa Chen is a scam artist. Dad looks confused. What business venture? I continue, pulling out printed screenshots. Last year, Lisa convinced 12 people to book family photo sessions for $4,800 and never showed up to a single shoot. Mom gasps. Lisa, you never told us about that. Because you would have made me pay it back. Just like everyone always expects me to be perfect like Sophia. Perfect? The word tastes bitter. Lisa, I worked 3 jobs through college. I ate ramen noodles for 3 years straight. I slept on studio floors because I couldn't afford rent. What part of that is perfect? You think it just worked out. I pull out my laptop and open a spreadsheet. Let me show you what just working out looks like. I turn the screen toward them. This is my business financial record for the past 5 years. Year 1, negative $8,000. I was in debt from startup costs.
Year 2, $15,000 profit, barely enough to survive. Year 3, $58,000. Finally able to move out of that studio apartment with broken air conditioning. Year 4, $140,000. Year 5, $240,000. Success that you're now trying to steal. Dad leans forward, studying the numbers with new eyes. I had no idea. Because you never asked. In 5 years, you visited my studio twice, but you knew every detail of Lisa's Instagram following, her lifestyle blog, her influencer aspirations. That's different, Mom protests. Lisa's dreams needed more support. Why? The question explodes for me. Why did her dreams need more support? Why was her failure something to cover up, but my struggle to build a company was something to ignore? The silence stretches uncomfortably. Lisa speaks, her voice barely above a whisper. Because you're stronger than me. You always were. You don't need help the way I do. That's not strength, Lisa. That's abandonment. I closed the laptop. You know what I needed? I needed my family to believe in me. I needed my parents to ask how my business was doing. I needed my sister to be proud of my success instead of trying to steal it. I am proud of you, Lisa says, tears falling. That's why I wanted to be part of it. Everything you touch turns to gold, and I'm just the screw-up sister who can't do anything right.
For a moment, the old protective instinct kicks in, the urge to comfort her, to fix her problems, to make everything okay. Then I remember Patricia Waverly's voice, and the couple's expecting services I never agreed to provide. Your feelings don't justify fraud, Lisa. I pull out the final folder. These are the people you hurt with your lies. I spread client communications across the table. Patricia Waverly, 3 couples are expecting my services next month based on your false promises. Marcus Williams, he restructured his magazine feature around a partnership that doesn't exist. Mom covers her mouth as she reads. Dad's face goes gray. These are real people, Lisa. Real couples. Real businesses. You didn't just steal from me. You stole from them. I can fix this, Lisa says desperately. I'll call everyone back, explain there was a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? I laugh without humor. You forged documents. You broke into my studio. You impersonated a business owner. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a crime spree. Finally, Dad speaks. What do you want us to do, Sophia? I look around the table at these 3 people who are supposed to love me most. People who watched me struggle for years and never offered help. People who celebrated Lisa's every minor achievement while treating my major accomplishments as inevitable. I want Lisa to call every single person she defrauded and confess. I want her to return every penny she stole. I want her to post a public retraction explaining that she has no connection to my business and never did. And then, Mom asks hopefully, and then she needs therapy. Real therapy. Because this level of entitlement isn't normal. Lisa looks up sharply. I'm not crazy. You're not crazy, but you're not healthy either. Healthy people don't steal their sister's business. Healthy people don't commit fraud for social media clout. What if she does all that? Dad asks. I close my briefcase and stand. Then, maybe, eventually, we can rebuild some kind of relationship, but it won't be the same as before. I won't be the family safety net anymore. Sophia, Mom starts. I'm not finished. My voice cuts through the room like ice. I built my business without your help, without your support, without your belief. I can protect it the same way. With or without your cooperation, Lisa is going to stop using my company name. The only question is whether she does it voluntarily or after I press charges. Lisa looks up with tears streaming down her face. I never meant to hurt you. But you did, and more importantly,
You hurt innocent people to try to fix your own life. I pick up my briefcase and head for the door. Wait, Dad calls after me. How long do we have?
I turn back one last time. Lisa has until Monday morning to contact every person she defrauded, return every penny she stole, and post public retractions. If she doesn't, I file police reports Monday afternoon. And if she does, Mom asks, voice small, then she gets to stay out of prison. But this family dynamic, where Lisa's feelings matter more than everyone else's lives, that ends today. I walk out into the cool evening air, leaving them with the wreckage of their golden child's lies. For the first time in my adult life, I don't feel guilty for setting boundaries. But the war isn't over yet. The next 72 hours unfold like dominoes falling in slow motion. Lisa, faced with actual consequences for the first time in her life, finally cracks. I wake up Monday morning to find my studio parking lot transformed into an altar of returned stolen goods. Lighting kit, cameras, hard drives, all stacked like offerings to an angry god. Maya finds me standing there at 7 a.m., staring at the pile of my violated equipment. She called every client, Maya says, holding up a printed list. Every single one. Confessed to the fraud, returned the deposits, gave them your direct number to reschedule. I pick up my favorite camera, its familiar weight now feeling foreign after Lisa's careless handling. A new scratch mars the body I'd saved 3 months to afford, evidence of her disrespect for something I treasured. And the social media?
Maya shows me her phone. Lisa's Instagram now has a pinned post. I need to publicly apologize and clarify something important. I am not a co-owner of Moments Captured Photography. My sister Sophia Chen is the sole owner and has been for 5 years. I lied about our partnership for personal gain and deeply regret the damage I caused to her business and reputation. Sophia built this company through her own hard work and talent. I had nothing to do with her success. The post has 847 comments. Most support me, expressing shock at Lisa's deception. A few defend her, calling it a family misunderstanding. But the truth is out there now, impossible to deny. My phone rings. Patricia Waverly. Sophia, honey, I just got off the phone with your sister. That poor girl was sobbing so hard, I could barely understand her. She explained everything. The forged documents, the stolen equipment, all of it. I'm so sorry you got caught up in this, Patricia. Don't you apologize for 1 second. You are the victim here. But I have to ask, are you still willing to work with us? Because after seeing how you handled this situation with such grace and professionalism, we want to offer you something special. My heart stops. What kind of something? An exclusive partnership, all Waverly Estate weddings, guaranteed booking for the next 2 years. Your integrity in this mess just earned you the biggest break of your career. I nearly dropped the phone. An exclusive contract with Waverly Estate would double my annual revenue. Over the next week, something miraculous happens. Instead of destroying my reputation, Lisa's public confession actually strengthens it. Other wedding vendors start reaching out, impressed by how I handled the crisis. 3 new venue partnerships, 5 photographer referrals from colleagues who respect my professionalism. The wedding industry in Austin is small, and word spreads fast. Sophia Chen doesn't just take beautiful photos. She's someone you can trust, even when her own family betrays her. 2 weeks later, Dad shows up at my studio unannounced. He looks older somehow, like the stress has aged him years and days. "Can we talk?" he asks quietly. I gesture to the client chair across from my desk. "What's on your mind, Dad?" He owes me more than an apology. He pulls a folded check from his wallet. This is from Lisa's college fund, the money we'd been saving for her graduate school. I look at the check. $15,000. Dad, I don't want your money. It's not our money, it's yours. We should have invested in your business years ago instead of enabling Lisa's fantasy career. His voice cracks. We failed you, Sophia. Long before Lisa stole your equipment, we stole something more important, your confidence that your family believed in you. I set the check on the desk between us. You can't buy back 5 years of feeling invisible. I know, but maybe we can start over. Maybe I can learn what my daughter actually does for a living.
That's how Dad ends up spending 3 hours learning about aperture settings, composition rules, and the difference between natural and artificial lighting. For the first time in my adult life, he asks questions about my work. Real questions, not polite small talk. "This is incredible," he says, scrolling through my portfolio. "These photos, they tell stories. They capture emotions I didn't know cameras could see. It's not just pointing and clicking, Dad." "No," he says quietly. "It's art, and I'm sorry it took me 30 years to see that." Lisa's consequences come in waves. The photography shop fires her after discovering her fraud history. She moves back home, sleeping in her childhood bedroom like a teenager again. Mom coddles her, but even Mom's patience wears thin when Lisa's refusal to work becomes undeniable. 3 months after the confrontation, Jake calls with news that makes my blood boil. "Sophia, Lisa contacted a photographer in Dallas last week, claiming to be a freelance photographer. She used your photos in her portfolio and listed moments captured as her former employer." My hands clench around the phone. "She's still using my work?" Gets worse. She told him she left your studio because of creative differences and that she was the real talent behind your success. This time, I don't hesitate. I call Detective Rodriguez.
"We have enough evidence for multiple charges," he tells me, reviewing my thick folder. "Are you sure you want to proceed? Once we file, there's no taking it back." I think about the photographer in Dallas, believing Lisa's lies. I think about future victims who might not be as lucky as Patricia Waverly. I think about Lisa still refusing to learn, still choosing deception over accountability. File the charges. The arrest happens on a Tuesday morning. Lisa calls me from jail, sobbing. "Sophia, please, I'll do anything. I'll pay back every penny. I'll go to therapy. I'll disappear if you want. Just don't let them prosecute me." You had 4 months to make this right, Lisa. You chose to keep lying instead. "I was scared. I didn't know how to fix it." You knew how to steal my identity in Dallas. You knew how to forge new lies. You just didn't know how to tell the truth. The trial lasts 6 weeks. Lisa pleads guilty to fraud and identity theft in exchange for 18 months probation and mandatory restitution. She has to pay back every penny she stole, plus damages, plus my legal fees. The total comes to $67,000. Judge Martinez, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s, doesn't look impressed with Lisa's lawyer's pleas for leniency. Miss Chen had multiple opportunities to make this right voluntarily. Instead, she chose to continue the fraud. This wasn't a mistake. It was a pattern of criminal behavior.
The gavel falls. Justice sounds like freedom. Lisa's Instagram account disappears the day after sentencing. Her 18,000 followers, her carefully curated aesthetic, her influencer dreams, all gone. 6 months later, I receive a letter forwarded from my old address. The return address is Denver, Colorado. Sophia. I'm writing this from my new apartment in Denver. It's tiny, and my roommate steals my food, but it's mine. I got a job at a coffee shop, my first real job, where I have to show up on time and actually work for my paycheck. You were right about therapy.
I've been going twice a week since I moved here. Dr. Patterson makes me look at things I've spent my whole life avoiding, like how I never learned to handle failure because mom and dad never let me fail, how I used you as my safety net instead of building my own skills, how I confused jealousy for love for so long that I convinced myself destroying you was helping me. I destroyed everything good in my life because I was too proud to admit you were better than me at something. You built a business through talent and hard work, and instead of being proud of my sister, I tried to steal it because I couldn't stand that you succeeded where I failed. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that for the first time in my life, I'm trying to earn something instead of taking it.
Your sister, if you'll still let me use that word, Lisa. I read the letter 3 times, then file it away in my desk drawer. Maybe someday I'll write back. Maybe someday we'll rebuild something resembling a relationship. But not today. 1 year later, I stand in my new studio space, 3,000 square feet in Austin's Arts District, with floor-to-ceiling windows that flood the space with natural light. The grand opening party is in full swing, filled with clients, vendors, and colleagues who've become genuine friends. Maya finds me on the balcony overlooking the celebration, holding Grandpa's vintage Leica camera, the one possession Lisa never touched during her rampage. Its leather grip is worn smooth from decades of use, first by his hands, then by mine during my early learning days. Thinking about the old studio? Maya asks. Thinking about how far we've come. I turn the camera over in my hands, feeling its familiar weight. You know what the weird part is? I'm grateful it happened. Grateful? If Lisa hadn't stolen from me, I never would have fought back. I'd still be the invisible daughter, working twice as hard for half the recognition. Her betrayal forced me to value myself. Maya smiles. Sometimes the best thing people can do for us is show us exactly who they are.
Below us, the party continues. Dad is deep in conversation with Jake about camera technology, asking questions I never thought I'd hear from him. Mom is actually listening, really listening, as one of my employees explains our editing process. My clients toast with champagne, celebrating not just my new space, but the community we've built together. This is what success looks like when you stop apologizing for it. This is what respect feels like when you demand it. This is what family becomes when you choose it instead of inheriting it. I raise Grandpa's camera and capture the moment. All these people who chose to support my dreams instead of stealing them. The click of the shutter sounds like freedom. Some stories end with reconciliation. Others end with liberation. Both can be happy endings. Your dreams are not disposable. Your success is not community property. Your boundaries are not suggestions. Family members who truly love you will respect your achievements, not try to steal them. People who support your growth won't ask you to shrink so they can shine. If someone in your life is treating your accomplishments as their opportunities, it's not love, it's exploitation. You have the right to protect what you've built. You have the right to demand respect. You have the right to walk away from people who treat your dreams as their backup plan. Your success doesn't need to be diminished so someone else can feel better about their failures. Stop setting yourself on fire to keep other people warm. Start building a life worth protecting.